All right, here we go. Messed up the first link, so I got to fix this first of all. I don't know if anyone's even watching yet because I messed up the first one. Very embarrassing. Here we go. Let me do this. Rookie mistake. Let's see. Rookie mistake. One. All right. Get back over here. All right. Yes, we got some people. Thank you for putting up with all of this. We are back. So let's talk. I mean, what? It's 4:49 now on the East Coast. Like all of you, was anticipating watching Daytona 500. Really looking forward to it after the entire off season, and we got some of it. We had a lot of excitement to start off. Had my dad here, and we made pizza. Had some beer, and we were watching the beginning, and it just got damn aggressive right at the beginning. Right? I mean, Kyle Busch into Christopher Bell, into Eric Almirola, and then all hell broke loose. The big one early on. How you feeling? I know my fantasy team did not have a good wreck right there. I had Ryan Newman, I had Eric Almirola, I had Jamie McMurray in on the Garage for my Fantasy Live team, and not exactly what we wanted to go on. But now we wait for the rain to stop, we wait for the lightning to stop, and it's just an unfortunate part of racing, right? Man. We wait all off season for this biggest day of the year. I mean, it's being branded best season ever. A lot of optimism going into the season, as there should be, of course, but still now we have to wait. It's just so painful. I mean, we've been waiting for months already, right? But Lisa says my fantasy team has one left in it. Okay, so mine's faring a little better than that. I went with Denny Hamlin, and I was very happy Denny chose to go to the back as I've picked him to win, and I picked him for all the bonus points. I do think he can get 3 in a row. Until he is dethroned, why pick against Denny? My boy KFB is still in this. Yes, he is. Kyle Busch made his presence known. Not too many, no one hating on Kyle Busch quite yet, at least more than general from what I saw, but it was a little contact from, between teammates, and look, you get aggressive and you get runs, and what are you supposed to do? You have to hit the car in front of you. That was Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell then hit Eric Almirola, and we saw what happened after that. So I don't know. What are your impressions of the first few races? NASCAR actually hooks me up with some data. I can switch screens here. Hopefully you're all still seeing me and everything. But yeah, we're just 15 laps, 2 leaders. Alex Bowman, he led 2 laps. And then Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick promised he would be strong. He doesn't tweet much, right? He doesn't say a lot. He's not one to be hyperbolic about anything. So when he tweeted the other night how good his car was, I believed him. Even though I didn't put him on my fantasy team, I sure did believe him. And that he's proving that, at least so far. It is there's some safety out there with a strong car for the 4 car. All right, Sean Burke, friend out there watching, if I send you something Auburn, will you stage it on your bookshelf behind you? I will not. I am married to a Tennessee Vol. I know all about SEC and its rivalry, so apologies. I will not put anything Auburn related. Just Syracuse, just Tennessee, the only shades of orange that apply to me. Do you think Chase Elliott can picking up? So some questions here. All right, guys, thank you. You think Chase Elliott will finish his first Daytona 500? Yeah, I mean, it's such a crapshoot. The last 5, he has not finished better than 14th. That's why I didn't waste a start on him here in the Daytona 500, because he'll be so good the rest of the year. There was no way on NASCAR Fantasy Live I was going to start him today. His record at the Daytona 500, for some reason, just not good enough. He's checked a lot of boxes already in his young career to get that Daytona 500 as the next one, but some drivers wait forever. I mean, remember Earnhardt, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski. Sometimes it's just the 500 that evades you for a long, long time. Can he get it done? Of course. He just hasn't. It's not been his time. Let's see. He's talking some fantasy stuff. Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin, and Matt DiBenedetto. I have to change my picks. I hope you can change your picks, after the race has already started. But Denny's still looking good. I don't know about Matty D. Fill me in about how he did. I forgot if he was really in it or not. How long before NASCAR takes the grass out and puts turf in at his tracks? Look, we saw that. We've already seen it at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That works very well. The teams like it. The drivers like it. I have to assume the track owners, it's initial cost, but that has to be less in the long run. The more we see these muddy infields, the more you think, why not? Why not do it? But that's for people much higher than my pay grade right now. The green flag, the randomized lineup is looking good. Oh, the green flag tweeted at me and said for his lineup, he uses, I guess, a randomizer website to just kind of spit out a lineup. I don't like the fact that some people think these tracks are kind of crapshoots, but his randomized lineup, especially for the fantasy-wise, seems to be working out for him right now. If you have drivers who are hanging out in the back, you were doing just fine, but not, that was a big crash up at the front. That was no good. Obviously, the big one, 15 laps in sucks, but that's a product of this racing. Yes, it is. If you follow my Twitter feed, I am a David Smith disciple. We do a podcast together called Positive Regression, and he tracks all the stats about where these big wrecks are, especially at drafting tracks. And the front of the field, super dangerous. Sixth place, I think, has a 50% crash rate. If there's a large wreck, more than 4 cars, better than a coin flips chance, sixth place will be involved. I actually think it avoided it in this first one, but you don't want to be anywhere from about 3rd to 13th. No good, and we saw what happened early on in this race. Kaz Gralla for the win. All right, not bad. I can go anytime a New Englander, Northeasterner can get a win. Rocky Top Diane, shouting out my wife. Love that. That's awesome. Matty D went home. Matty D says he's out. Sorry, Matty D. I did not catch up with that. That sucks. I remember last year I picked him to win the Daytona 500 in 2020. Obviously didn't work out, but he is a good plate racer and certainly had a shot today. Hamlick, Harvick, and Larson are my picks. Mandude 03, you are having a good day so far then. Hamlin, Harvick, and Larson. Larson sticking up front, very quiet week, but up front. Denny was listening to the pod. Yes, Denny Hamlin is a known listener of Positive Regression, a known reader of David Smith, and we've done the podcast with him. Last year, before the 2020 Daytona 500, we sat down with Chris Gabart and Denny Hamlin at Joe Gibbs Racing, and they basically laid out how they were going to win the Daytona 500. Like, what is your plan day by day down there, race by race, practice by practice? They told us everything, and then they went out and won the race. So go back and listen to that. It was a blueprint for how to win the Daytona 500. David's stats knowledge are crazy good. I was introduced to it at The Athletic. All right, I'm glad you read him. Good stuff. Denny and Keselowski are my picks, and KFB. Keselowski, another one. I think he was hanging in back, missed that first wreck. Smart. At least early on in this race. It's 500 miles. You have to get there to get these wins. So many people are good enough to win, but not. It doesn't matter how good you are if you're not there on lap 199 or mile 497 and a half, what have you. Do you think this early wreck will calm guys down the rest of the race? Or is it just an indicator of the remaining 180 laps will be super aggressive? I think we'll see some calmness, only because, Kyle Busch, what happened out there? I don't think it was super aggressive, right? It wasn't a block being thrown. It wasn't someone trying to change lanes or get to the front, as fast as possible. That's what happens at these tracks. There's contact, and who knows what happens? They have the data now to kind of show us, but when those things connect and it becomes a domino effect, I want to say that was more, racing incident than aggression on Kyle Busch's part. Especially, Kyle Busch doesn't want to lose this race, and he's a really smart race car driver. So I don't think he did anything overly aggressive early on in this race. Can we get an F in? What a sad way. Can we get an F in the chat for Derek Cope? If that's cool YouTube talk, I don't know what that means. So I'm a noob here, but sad way for him to go out. Yeah, no one wants to be the first wreck. No one wants to go out in a wreck, especially in the Daytona 500. And he was out very early. That kind of sucked if you are Derek Cope. What do you think if the field becomes a choo-choo train? That happens at least once at every drafting race. It happens. That's just it. Sometimes you have to. it ebbs and flows. It's very nebulous, these tracks. That's what makes it so cool. And sometimes it's one long string of 40 cars, and then somehow by magic, by the time it ends, it's like 3 wide, 6 rows deep, it seems. That's just how some of these things roll. And, you got to take the good with the bad. It's a long race. You got to make it to the end. And at least now with stage breaks, pit strategy, there's something to break it up. I hate train racing, but I get why these drivers do it. Absolutely. Let's see. What else you got going on? All right. Hey, this has been a fun way to kill time. What are y'all doing at home? Like I said, I started off watching the race with my dad. The last few years, my dad's been down the Daytona 500. I have, obviously, as I have as well, watching from the stands. That was always cool, doing the pre-race stuff with Fox or doing the trucks, and then kind of getting the rest of, once the race hit, you were kind of done for the day, it seemed, or so I could go up to the stands and watch with my dad, and that was always fun because as much, if anything, I'm still a race fan, so watching racing from the stands is still something I enjoy very, very much. Playing NASCAR Thunder 2003 for PS2. That's fun. That's one of the last NASCAR games I played, and I'm trying to get into the NASCAR heat. I called one of those races, the PS4 and the Xbox Series. They're still going on right now. I called one back in November. That was fun. The games have certainly improved. I may not look super old, but I'm not young either. So I haven't been on the video game tip for a long time, and I need to get back into it because a lot of things have improved way since the PS2 days, but love a good NASCAR video game. So if you're going to get the real thing, you might as well start playing right now, and I appreciate you joining on here as well. Feels like the result was feels like the wreck was the result of big runs generated by the current package. People could have avoided, especially at such an early stage. That's true. I mean, what do you do if you're Kyle Busch, though? I mean, if you have a run coming down the backstretch, you either hit the car in front of you. If you don't want to hit the car in front of you, you tap on the brakes and you risk getting hit from behind. I remember not long ago at Talladega. I remember when Kyle Busch went into that race. I think he was second in points. This was in the playoffs. Got hit from behind and went from second in points to being out of the championship hunt. So it's lose-lose, right? It's survival of the fittest, and you have to look after number one out there on a plate track. And at that moment, look, we haven't talked to Kyle Busch yet. Bumping Christopher Bell in the rear was the best course of action at the moment. As a WWE fan, how cool was it for Sasha Banks to wave the green flag? Which WWE star would you like to see wave the green flag next? Yes, first of all, quite awesome. I hate to say I almost forgot for a second. I don't remember if they mentioned it too much in the pre-race, but when you saw the green flag being waved, you noticed the blue hair. Sasha Banks, a big WWE fan, so that's always cool to see it represented. I remember last year, Sheamus was there doing the same thing. I got to meet him, and we pointed. They do the WrestleMania point, like at the sign. We pointed at the Daytona 500 sign, so I thought that was pretty cool. As for someone to do it next, who else have we seen? We've seen Sheamus. John Cena's been there. I'm a big Gangrel fan, so maybe the Gangrel can show up. But no, it's cool. I wonder if anyone would ever get booed. Like if Roman Reigns showed up, if he'd get booed, or I don't know. No, it's cool to have anybody associated with that world, WWE, show up at the Daytona 500. Very cool. What else? Yeah, man. Is there a Panda Express across the street from the track? Yes, there is. We know this because at least because Chase Briscoe just put out on Twitter that's where he is right now. I tweeted, rookie in the race, but veteran when it comes to grabbing food, because that is a strong veteran move when leave the racetrack, go get some food, and then he's got to climb back in the car. He's got to climb back in the car and race for a Daytona 500 title. It's just pretty funny how calm these guys can be when it's at the ultimate, the highest level of biggest race of their life, highest level of performance, and they can, go for a food run in the middle of it, not feel too nervous about it. So that's good stuff. Let's see. Gene Steele 19, the Daytona 500 in my country started at 8 p.m. and will probably finish at 3 a.m. Gene, where are you? Thank you for wherever you are watching from. Let's see if it started about 3 here, 5 hours that way, or you might be in England somewhere over there. That's awesome. Thank you for watching this stream right now. Yeah, like all of us, we are just waiting for the race to begin. I'll hit up on Twitter right here. Let's see. I tweeted to Corey LaJoy. I was wondering if he ever answered my question. He had a hashtag Ask Shoe, and I tweeted him. I tweeted at him a video of this car on the ice, just like slowly skidding away down this hill. And really, I was looking for a real answer. Like, what do us mere mortals do if you're ever in that situation? So hopefully he answers. I don't know if I can get word to Corey LaJoy because I did use the hashtag. I'm just scrolling Twitter here. Appreciate y'all being on. We don't have to go too much longer. I was just trying to kill some time like all of us. My wife went out shopping. My dog is asleep. My dad went home when the rain delay started. So I figured why not get on here and talk some racing. I'm utilizing this technology to connect with my people just like myself who are just race fans and want to talk some racing during this rain delay. Ian says, I love NASCAR crashes. Okay, we don't want to see anyone get hurt, but that is a part of the racing. And the big ones, especially at these drafting tracks. Always something to look out for. Hopefully Chase doesn't eat anything too spicy from Panda Express. Yes, that is not a problem we think about in other sports, right? The mid Super Bowl break. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if any athletes ever have too much of a meal during halftime, but yeah, something to think about with Chase Briscoe. Hopefully you're not making a rookie move when it comes to food choice. Looks like maybe we're racing to halfway if we get back going, Mark Newton says. That's certainly a possibility, and that will factor in, right? That will factor into the crew chiefs and their decision-making. You want that track position. You want to be at the front of the field. I mean, the super front of the field, right? Because the back is safe, the front is not, but it's all about weight. I don't know if there is a right answer sometimes, but if we're only racing to halfway totally throws a completely different wrench into it because you have to commit to a strategy, right? You can't half-ass it. You have to use your whole ass at some point. And if you commit to the halfway strategy, you better hope that's when the race ends because it could screw up everything else. Let's see. Chase needs to avoid a Lamar Jackson incident. Yes. Look it up if you don't know what that means. But look, let's be honest. What we're talking about, Tony Stewart may have had an incident back at Watkins Glen one time. Sometimes you get sick in the car. So if Chase Briscoe needs any advice, he can ask his car owner. We won't think about that. Wow, Gene Steele was from Algeria. That is awesome. So thank you for being a NASCAR fan. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching the Daytona 500. That is awesome. So let me know who your favorite driver is. Anybody in the chat, if you're chatting right now, let me know who your driver is. That's always a question I would ask anybody I meet. Who is your driver? Because that's one way for all of us to connect. If you don't know, my driver. Who's this? Oh, Rusty Wallace. Yes, still, always. 20 plus years now. This is a die cast from his last season. You can see right here, Rusty's last call. Just a pretty one. And it was funny. I just like this because I bought it when I was an adult, way back when they were the cool Miller Genuine Draft ones. I was younger. I was a child. And you couldn't buy these. Not as a kid. They didn't have a lot of the cool graphics on them, or they were bolted down to a plate. And, who wanted that? You couldn't play with it. Now I can play with it all I want. I'm old and play with cars. But yes, Rusty Wallace right here. Put that back. I got a Rusty and an Earnhardt back there. So very cool. Let's see. Yeah, Gene Steele from Algeria, NASCAR fan since 2011. Favorite driver, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has a lot of haters, so I appreciate you being a fan of his. Sean Burke, Jeff Gordon transitioned to a Joey Logano fan. Joey Logano, another one. A lot of people don't like Joey Logano for some reason. I've known him most of his life because we grew up in the same place, and especially his racing career anyway. And he's just such a nice person. Yet some people, when he becomes a race car driver, some people don't like him. A lot of fans there too. So, but if you like Jeff Gordon and now you're a Joey Logano fan, you have a lot of winning ahead of you, and you got a lot of winning behind you. So that's cool. A Sturge 21, big Truex guy. Definitely not going to win. No, he's not going to win today. That really stinks. For Truex Nation, but he is re-signed, right, with Joe Gibbs Racing. So at least, through 2022. So that's a big deal. And how long have you been a Truex fan? Because he was a late bloomer in terms of, real sustained success. Not till he got that 78 car, not till he got to Cole Pern. Not accusing you of anything. People like winners, but just wondering how long you've been a Martin Truex Jr. fan. Ian Chang likes Ryan Newman in the 6. Ryan Newman was on my NASCAR Live fantasy team today. I had high hopes for him. He had great odds, long odds, but he is a good plate racer. Again, before all that terrible crash last year, I mean, he was about to win the Daytona 500 for a second time. A lot of speed with that Ford, a lot of brains up there for Ryan Newman. I was hoping for big things for him today. What advice do you have for those of us who want to get into sports broadcasting from a NASCAR perspective? Any specific tips? Oh, good question. I mean, I went to school for it because this is all I ever wanted to do. And so I went to school, CUSE. School doesn't matter as much. Just make sure you get out there and do it. When I was a young up-and-comer, we didn't have this. We didn't have anything like YouTube to get out there and broadcast ourselves, to go on here, practice, be good at it, be bad at it. That's what you need to do. You really have to go out somewhere and be bad at it and just get the reps. So start your own YouTube channel, start chatting, chat to no one. Doesn't matter. If you're bad, you don't want anyone watching anyway, right? But get out there, get practice, become a good writer. Being a good writer you learn how to write condensed, you learn how to edit yourself. And even if you're a good writer, you become a better speaker and all that stuff. NASCAR Central, eventually, once you get good at kind of the writing side, the journalism side of it, at some point you need to get to the Charlotte area if you really want to thrive in this business, because this is home base, right? I live in Charlotte, have for almost 13 years now. And this was always the goal. That's why I'm here, because if you want to be in NASCAR, you kind of have to be in Charlotte. So that would be some advice to any youngsters. But, keep up at me. Shoot me a message on Twitter or something anytime you need any more advice. Let's see. That Truex fan says they've been watching since 2001, 2002. So that's pretty good. Started off as a Furniture Row guy, moved to Truex post 2018 was natural next move. All right. I like that. You stuck with Truex, got a lot of winners, got a lot of wins and a championship out of that. Another question about turf instead of the grass. Yeah, I mean, we have the turf at Charlotte, and all it does is get praise, right? Because the cars don't get tore up. It doesn't turn into a mud bog. It's just like you skate across that and you live to move on for another lap. You have to think more of that is coming because, I mean, who wants this? I mean, teams don't want this. I don't think drivers want it. At some point, tracks aren't going to want it. Again, maybe an initial investment to replace all the turf and all that stuff, to replace all the grass and all that stuff. But once you get the turf down there, I would have to think the maintenance is a little more minimal. I don't know. Again, not a track owner, but it seems like the turf is far more preferred than anything else out there. Truex, such an interesting development. His career could have been over after DEI, then MWR, goes to a mid-pack team and wins a championship. Pretty cool story. Yes, it is. One day, maybe I'll be a part of it. They will write documentaries about what happened in Richmond with Michael Waltrip Racing that day. But let's think about that. I mean, Martin Truex Jr., Napa. Look, if Napa doesn't leave MWR, if MWR doesn't go through all its stuff, does Napa go to Chase Elliott? Does Chase Elliott go through the Cup ranks as quick? I mean, think of all those dominoes. Does Martin Truex Jr. never ends up with Furniture Row? Does he ever end up a champion? All this stuff. That's life, I guess, but it's always fun to go back and think about some of these questions and incidents when things getting a little message here. All right. Sorry. Yeah. It's fun to think about some of the dominoes that fall and the things, which way they can go and what could have happened with Martin Truex Jr. What could have happened with Chase Elliott had some things not gone down, but it's fun to think of. Yeah. In hindsight, Spingate worked out well for a few guys. Yes, it did. Some others, not so much, but it goes down in NASCAR history, the lore. And I was at that race. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. Let's see. Corey LaJoy's tweet at Chase Briscoe. I'll check that out. Let's see. It looks like we got an all clear at Daytona. I'm sorry if I'm just catching up on that, but yeah, that was it. Oh yeah, it was like 21 minutes ago. No one could tell me we got the all clear. Come on, guys. But I'm trying to keep up with everything. But no, good stuff. But I'm still learning. I'm trying to stick with you guys. Yeah, poor Brian Vickers. Yeah, he was part of that. It will be in hindsight. Let's see. Is anyone else getting tired of these big wrecks early on in the 500? Paul asks. Yeah, and I'm sure the drivers are as well. Again, over-aggression is one thing. I've seen a few replays. I don't know if what Kyle Busch did was super overly aggressive. I mean, you can't be overly passive either because you'll get hit from behind. So you either drop to the back or you put the bumper on just a little bit, and you hope for the best at times. I'm sure Kyle Busch was not anticipating the domino effect that happened, but it did. But at least he got through it. Let's see what else. We'll keep going for a few more minutes. I don't want to. I don't know what that is. That's funny. Yeah. So let me check out. I'm just checking out the latest tweets, making sure I'm not missing too much here. Good stuff in the pre-race show. That Michael Jordan story was awesome. Yes, Corey LaJoy has told Chase Briscoe, you better hope they don't get this thing dry after that rookie mistake. Yeah, I don't think Chase Briscoe's ever run 500 miles, has he? That's a long race, and that's something that rookies have to learn, right? That's something that you have to learn the pace and the stamina for all that. And maybe Corey LaJoy is giving him some friendly advice that, wow, you just made a huge mistake because 500 miles is a long way and you cannot get out of the car. I love that. Ian Chang, my favorite number is 20, so my NASCAR number is 20. That's cool. You have hooked your rope to Christopher Bell, who should be with that team for a long time. Who is we should see big things out, at least bigger things, right? We should see improvement. He has to live up to the hype, and he is in the 20 car right now, and he should do big things. That is a Joe Gibbs racing car. Christopher Bell needs to show up this year, and he's running out front already in the Daytona 500. Yeah, I don't think Christopher Bell expected that push. Kyle Busch was going to give him either, so it's hard to assign fault in the one big wreck that we've had. It's just unfortunate because it took out a lot of good names. William Byron, he was half up there, but he's saying they can fix the car. Ryan Blaney was nearly out of it. Certainly one that can win the Daytona 500. Just kind of stinks. Let's see. It's 5:15. We'll do this for 5 more minutes. I don't want to, waste any more of your time or what have you, but go wake up my dog, take him for a walk. But no, this has been fun. I appreciate you killing some time with me because this is what I would love to be. I'd love to be at the racetrack. I'd love to be talking with race fans. And this is another way to do it, especially during these times of COVID, these strange times. So we'll try to do this a few more times. If there's any positive regression listeners out there, I'd love to hear about that. If there are any NASCAR Fantasy Live players, tell me about your fantasy team. Or tell me what you got going on tomorrow on your Monday, because look, I hope there's no racing tomorrow, but if there is, we can do this again. We'll be there, together. Any chance we can see the spam car again? You ask, and hell yeah, I can deliver. Again, this isn't planned. This wasn't necessarily planned. And this has always been one of my favorite NASCAR paint schemes ever. The spam car. It's simple. It's blue. It's yellow. It's beautiful. And it's just funny. I mean, it's the spam can car. And look, I was a youngster. This is the 1996 preview edition. So it came out in early 96, winter 95. And I specifically remember getting this at Walmart and seeing it at Walmart, first of all, because I didn't have enough money to get it with my allowance. So like any entrepreneur, what did I do? I hid this. I went and hid this in like a doll section or something, way in the back on a back rack, so no one else could buy it. And I knew exactly where it was, and I knew no one would find it. And then when I had the money, went back to Walmart, and I got this beautiful, beautiful 1/24th scale Racing Champions spam car. And I still have it to this day. I'm 38 years old. Much to the chagrin, I'm sure, of my wife, but I still have it. It makes for a great decoration, and it's one of the few things that we moved to a new house, and I've unpacked because I think I wanted it to be part of my cool Zoom background. And then last night we were rolling up some old cards from 30 years ago, and I got a Harry Melling, and Harry Melling was the owner of that car, so it was an easy chance to show it off. So I love the spam car. We'll always love the spam car. Lake Speed, great name. Fun driver to think about, karting champion, all that stuff. Very fun stuff. Why are we seeing fewer of the Cup Series owners also owning teams in the lower series? That's a good question. I'm just trying to think. I mean, Penske still has one car. They've cut back a little. Who else? Gibbs still has a bunch of Xfinity cars. Who else? RCR, they've cut back a little. They still have, I think, that one prominent car. What else? Have we seen a cutback? I just the opposite of that. I like the stories like Colleague Racing. How they've come up and really thriving as a team. Junior Motorsports, they're kind of a Hendrick affiliate, right? But they're still, Junior Motorsports. They are an Xfinity-based team. Love stuff like that. No, I was worried about the Xfinity series only because I thought Austin Cindric was going to go out and whoop everyone's butt again. And of course he did yesterday. He got the win, but there's a lot of talent out there too. So that's really good. So the more I thought about it, the more competitive it is going to be this year. So very cool. I like the Kevin Harvick racing team. Yeah, KHI, they were successful for a long time, but made a good business decision on their part. Kevin and his wife Delana, they had an excellent truck team. They had a successful Xfinity team. I remember Tony Stewart running races. I like the drafting tracks and winning races for KHI. And KHI is still a successful business, just not on the racetrack, doing a lot of things off the racetrack. Truck series, yeah, not a lot of trickle down. Are there any? No, I guess there aren't. Truck series kind of its own thing. It's a big investment, and I don't know. I mean, if you want to focus on Cup racing, I guess that's what teams are trying to focus to do. And trucks will be truck teams, and Cup Series will be Cup Series teams. That's something much I thought about. If I come across an owner, I'll ask. It's more personnel, it's more people dedicated. It's kind of a whole different sort of. We'll let the manufacturers deal with those affiliates and all that stuff. So, Cup Series want to go Cup racing. They got plenty of stuff to worry about. So. How long of the delay? I'm not sure. Seems like the money is so much bigger in Cup. It is. So there's not much incentive for Cup owners to be in the lower series. I think that is quite fair. Cost will always be an issue in racing, and especially getting new ownership. That's why the thought of these charters is such a big deal, and why people can buy in now, and why apparently it's becoming more attractive, especially with the next generation car kind of giving everyone something of a reset. But it'll always be an expensive sport with a lot of dependence on sponsorship. So, let's see. We'll wrap it up here. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully we are watching racing soon. And this has been fun. Obviously I have a new deal going on this year. I wish I could be at the racetrack, but since I can't, I'm learning. I'm trying to stay, relevant with everybody and connect. And this has been a fun venture to learn, because this YouTube stuff, there are some skilled content creators out there, and I'm just trying to learn the game, and to get on here and chat with everybody, it's such a pleasure. So, hit me up on Twitter. I love talking racing because that's ultimately what I am, a racing fan. And let me know. We'll be back, and hopefully we're watching some racing soon. See you guys.